Let's be honest. If you click this video, you probably either don't want to be Batman and came here to reassure your choice, or you want to be Batman so bad that you're here to test how far you can take your "yeah, but I'm Batman" argument. If that's the case, then great, because today, you're gonna fill in the shoes of fiction's coolest genius billionaire play. My bad. So after living a day in Gotham as Bruce Wayne and adding a sprinkle of real-life logic, we'll find out if you have what it takes to become Gotham's Dark Knight. And if you do, how long would you last? First, you gotta wake up. And I know for a fact that people will already have trouble with this one. Either way, you managed to get out of bed at like 3 p.m. because your fight last night with Bane took longer than expected. But then, pain. Everywhere. The first problem you'd face as Batman is something most superheroes don't worry about as much thanks to their abilities, healing factor, and/or enhanced durability. But Batman is human. Peak physique, greatest detective ever, proficient in over 100 martial arts, and #1 aura farmer.
So let's put a couple tables together. I'm not sure that they'll let us. Well, they should. I own the place.
Yet, still human. Meaning we're gonna have to split the pain, and especially your injuries, into two. Physical and mental. Question is, are you strong enough to take both? Try to remember the worst pain you've ever felt in your life. Was it a bruise? A fractured bone? A bad breakup? First of all, sorry about that. But now compare the pain you felt in that moment to the pain you'd feel after this, or this, or this. Ouch. Think you could take it? Look, you might be in peak physical condition, and you also could have trained with mystical assassins. Hell, you somehow might have even become insane enough to ignore the pain like this dude. However, no matter how many steroids and painkillers you take, most of your villains are so creatively written that you'll be dealing with fear toxin, frozen limbs, bite wounds, gunshots, and broken spines at least once a week. But is it really that bad? Frostbite could take months to heal or even cause permanent damage, but a cold-proof suit should hopefully do the trick. Alligator bites could be serious, but nothing that a few antibiotics and some Alfred magic can't fix. And fear toxin doesn't seem to have any long-term effect apart from maybe some nightmares. However, if it even heals...
What do you mean, if?
A broken leg or spine can take from 6 to 12 weeks to do so. The lack of cartilage in your bones means you wouldn't be able to walk. And although concussions should only take around a month to heal, they could lead to developing dementia later on. Wanna know the funny thing? You would have to deal with those wounds and many, many others daily. Just take a look.
I have seen worse cartilage in knees.
It's good.
No, that's because there is no cartilage in your knee.
Of course, this is superhero logic, yet it still means that you're gonna have to be careful with who you fight. Because unfortunately for you, your villain roster goes from fat, ugly guys named after animals.
Where's Nightwing?
Oh, he's right here. We thought you'd want to say hello.
Oh, I do.
To actual animals with the word killer in their name. And I know what you're thinking. Dude, I'm Batman. I have a suit, I train, I meditate, and I have plot armor. Prep time. So sure, let's assume you managed to win most fights with few wounds that you can recover from in a few days. And that the cool looking scars are worth the extreme pain you'd suffer from every day. But unfortunately, there are some wounds that not even Alfred can patch up. Trust me, it's way more complicated than it looks. Most of you, myself included, are willing to take the trauma from having both your parents die at a young age. I mean, how else am I supposed to become Spider-Man, right? But it's not that simple. In both Spider-Man and Batman's case, suffering, either physical or mental, is part of their daily routine. However, when Spider-Man gets beat up, a loved one dies, and he thinks about the death of Uncle Ben, he gets back up and despite his lust for vengeance, he always manages a way to forgive and find peace. Now, when Batman remembers his parents, his past mistakes, or Joker goes a bit too far, the only things on his mind are pain, anger, and vengeance. And if you think that sounds awful, well, you're gonna have to get used to those feelings if you wanna be Batman. On top of having constant nightmares about your dead parents and son, you'll also have PTSD from most things that happen to you at night. Hanging around with a demented clown, playing games that put the life of people at risk, and inhaling toxins that make you see even more crazy clowns are not particularly fun ways to spend your nights. The constant dangers of Gotham and the lack of sleep also lead to developing extreme paranoia and schizophrenia. There's a reason you make contingency plans to neutralize the little friends you have. Oh, and talking about friends, you have very few of those.
You see, I believe enemies are coming.
Stop right there. I'm in.
You are?
Yeah, I need friends.
Which, paired with living in complete darkness and almost totally isolated from society, isn't really helping you prevent chronic depression. Thankfully for you, at least you don't have to endure the trauma that comes with killing. But for some reason, that's the one thing most of you guys want. And I think I know why. But I'll only tell you if you subscribe. Is it done? Alright, thanks. Now allow me to introduce you to a little friend. Meet Red Hood. Yep, he's the Robin that uses guns. Cool, right? And very useful too. As some people suggested, if you wish to ignore Batman's no-killing rule, things would become surprisingly easy for you. Kinda. On one side, you'd prevent most hand-to-hand combat, as you'll no longer be the man who brings fists to a gunfight. On top of that, more than half of your villain roster would be gone in a week, including Two-Face, Riddler, Scarecrow, and Joker. Oh, you know I'm killing that one first. But it's not that simple. It's true that you could have avoided Jason Todd's kidnapping and thousands of innocent deaths, but there's now blood in your hands, and there's a surprisingly large amount of citizens and cops that see you as their knight in shining armor. So if you start killing, how do you think someone like Jim Gordon will see you when he finds out that you're against doing things by the book? Are you willing to be feared by everyone in Gotham and take the memory of everyone you've killed to the grave? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, although I have the feeling most of you couldn't give less of a fuck. Anyway, back to your morning routine. You took your smoothie, worked out, had your skincare routine, and got to work as always. But then, I was wondering why it felt so weird. Bruce's life rarely goes this smoothly. And to prove it, we're gonna play a game. I'm gonna try to make you a daily routine that includes sleeping, eating, work/public appearances, a workout session, maybe some time with one of your sons.
I'm Batman.
And, oh right, being Batman.
If you're lying, I'll break the other one. The other one?
Say you begin Batmaning at around 10 p.m. and you get back home at 4 a.m. You then take 1 hour between patching yourself up and getting ready for bed. And then you sleep for at least 7 hours, as it's proven to be the minimum amount of sleep required for a human, including Batman, to prevent sleep deprivation. This means you wake up at 12 a.m. ready for your morning routine and brunch that takes around another hour. Say you take 3 to 4 hours between training and working out. This can also be the moment you remember you have one of 4 sons, so you train him too. Which, if you ask me, isn't what I would call father-son quality time, but who am I to judge? This puts you around 5 p.m., which leaves you with about 5 hours before going out into Gotham to maybe have a business meeting, do some research, or go out to dinner to show that, hey, Bruce Wayne is alive. But let's be honest, when is Batman's life this perfect? Not every night will you be able to be back home at 4. Most nights you won't even be returning home at all. And if you do, who says you won't have 4 ribs, both wrists, and your spine broken by Bane? I mean, sure, it's not every day, but looking at Batman's history with getting hurt, well... the odds are not in your favor. Broken bones also mean that you won't be able to work out or go out in months. And since it's proven how you begin to lose muscle mass after 2 weeks of no training, then Mr. Bruised Wayne won't have his peak physique for a while. All of this paired with an irregular sleep schedule that can go from sleeping till 3 p.m. to not sleeping for 3 days in a row
Complete me.
is humanly impossible to maintain for more than a few months before having serious health issues like obesity and diabetes. Trust me, buddy, you don't want to be Fat Batman. So as long as you don't use guns, you're not on some seriously strong drugs, and most nights end as bad as they usually do, it looks like we cannot make this work. Wait a minute. Then what if instead of becoming Batman, you instead just became Batman? Wait, what if instead of living in Gotham and being forced to fight whatever the hell these are, and have who knows how many mental disorders, you instead live, I don't know, wherever you live? I mean, just imagine becoming jacked overnight, being able to take down anyone in the world, acquiring the intellect of Sherlock Holmes, having like $1 gazillion in your bank account, a Batman suit hanging on your wardrobe, a Batmobile waiting outside, and the coolest butler in fiction.
You know what? It doesn't matter, because I have a double secret super password that unlocks the parental lock.
You mean Alfred the Butler with 2 T's?
At this point, the question is not if you're willing to take the pain, but rather, what are you doing first? And if you want to know why you wouldn't want super speed either, click this video right here. And as always, thanks for watching.